he also do Labyrinth and a few other films like that. Kind of freaky at some level.
You're actually thinking of Jim Henson.
Jim Henson? No, I know there's a comic book writer involved in Mirror Mask.
That is Neil Gaiman. That is him. Yep.
And I believe he was also with Coraline.
Yes, that is right.
Okay. Yep. So there's a little bit of that scare. Anyway.
Well, also, I think, say, it is appropriate to, say, create a horror film for kids, so long as it isn't wholly realistic. Say, well, you wouldn't dream of showing a film like, say, Halloween, Friday the 13th, or any number of those other kinds of slasher films to a kid, as well, they do depict humans in plausible situations attacking other humans. But I think, well, within our literature class, we've been covering different genres in fiction, and we're actually covering the Dracula novel and the Dracula film starring Keanu Reeves as the two Gothic texts. And we began learning what are known as the semantic features of Gothic fiction. They're quite straightforward, you know, dark, looming castles, cobwebs, an ominous atmosphere, coffins, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. I think these elements are essentially they are elements of an environment. How am I going to say this? Yeah.
So are you referring to the?
You should. Yeah. Yeah. I think a horror film for kids should be structured around Gothic conventions, as they can easily, I suppose, chill and entertain people, say, of that demographic, without disturbing them. Say, I think that can be done with
kind of without making it part of their own, lives. Like,
yes,
like this could happen in your home if you separate it into a Gothic setting.
Yeah,
that's actually a good thought.
And I think Coraline does contain an abundance of Gothic features. Did you notice that while you were watching Coraline?
Well, I guess it does have the Gothic features, which it actually integrates pretty interestingly into that sort of domestic setting, making it putting the best and worst of both worlds in one. But yeah, the sort of dark visuals, even as things were bright and cheery in the other Mother world, it's kind of that looming Gothic sense.
I agree.
An odd question. This is just one I've been debating with those who have seen the film.
Yeah.
The other kid, I forget his name.
Wybie. I believe his name was Wybie, or short for Wyborn.
For Wybie. Was he? All the characters are very stylized in this film. From Coraline's slightly skewed smile to the odd body shapes of the neighbors.
Wybie
was he a hunchback, or did he just have bad posture?
I don't know.
Is that stylization or a back thing?
I never really noticed that. But I'm not sure. I believe I did read a few reviews of Coraline from. I think there was actually a review posted in the Herald Sun recently, in which the reviewer actually regarded these. These character animations as too expressive. Say, there's no, you automatically know what this person is thinking. There's no ambiguity. I suppose he is right, but it doesn't make the visuals any less astounding.
I would say I would have to disagree with. I mean, I agree that they do make for some very expressive characters, but for that very reason, since they are meant to represent fairly subtle ideas in the overarching story, it's good that they are so expressive and so easy to read, especially if this is indeed, a kid's movie.
Yeah.
Oh, and what was more disturbing? Spider Demon, or the neighbor with the twice your own head-sized breasts? That's kind of neck and neck for me.
Yeah, I would say, I would say probably the Spider Demon. Personally.
All right. Yeah. So, any other thoughts on Coraline?
Well, one. This is just. I was just slightly pleased by this. I was amused to learn that John Hodgman was cast in the role of the father and the other father. You might know him or know of him from the current Apple ads. He's the PC in the Apple ads.
Oh, so it is.
Yeah. I was also a little amused to learn. Well, I was watching Die Hard 4 a couple of years ago. It was released as just Die Hard 4 in Australia rather than Live Free or Die Hard. I turned to one of my friends and remarked, "Where have I seen that guy before?" And Justin Long is actually the Mac in the Apple ads.
Oh.
It's funny how I notice these things. Say, whenever a BBC production is screened on ABC here, I can always pinpoint which actor was in which Doctor Who episode.
It's weird. It's like, can you remember the quadratic equation? No, but I can remember who this guy is, who's on this commercial for cheese.
Yeah. Well, the guy who portrays Merlin in the new TV series, you don't watch Doctor Who, do you? So, well, it probably won't matter. But he starred in one episode as a morose teenager on a bus ride on another planet. That was a good episode, by the way.
Yeah. I've grown more interested in Doctor Who. I mean, like I did a Victor Explains on that.
Yeah.
And I do only have a rudimentary understanding of all those things I do there, and I looked up enough stuff on the wiki to be it's wiki thing that I am interested in it. Have to track down some old episodes.
I think you'd be best checking out season 4. I would say that that would be the season of the most consistent quality across the board. Well, the acting is terrific. The storylines are dark, very intelligent. It's campy without going over the top, even David Tennant as the Doctor, he does get a little annoying in a couple of episodes, but still he takes new approaches to his character. So you should probably check those out first.
Oh, thanks. I am going to see, every so often I end up having to kind of do an en masse collection of stuff for Netflix. So season 4 Doctor Who, I'll keep that in mind.